Alright, welcome to the first of my two Barolo kits that I'm going to be doing today. The first one I'm going to be doing is the Vino Italiano kit. Okay, and what I have here, what you're looking at, is a cleaned and sanitized bucket or fermenter, which I'm going to call my primary fermenter. Okay, so I've made so many of these Vino Italiano kits, I'm not even going to be looking at the directions. You can certainly look at them. I've kind of memorized them. This is probably close to my 40th Vino Italiano kit that I've made. Okay, so first thing, we're going to put some hot water into this bucket. One of the things I've done, this is a bucket that used to be a frozen pail. And I'm using this for my wine kit as a primary fermenter. So what I've done on the side is I've taken gallon jugs of water, filled it up and marked it 5 gallons, 6 gallons. So we're going to be making this one to 5 gallons. But what I have in here is a little bit of water. Actually, I should probably be putting a little bit more in there. Let me do that now. A little bit more water. Alright. And we're going to be taking a spoon that has also been cleaned and sanitized. Here's a spoon. Put that a little closer so you can see. And we're going to be taking our packet of bentonite. Bentonite is a clay that is used for clearing. A lot of times winemakers put bentonite in at the end for clarifying, but in most wine kits the bentonite goes in first. So that's what we're doing here. Now, here's the thing about the bentonite. This is like a clay, and in order for this to work, it needs to be in the suspension of the water. If you just dump this in, it's going to be sitting at the bottom in a big lump of clay. So the key here is to be stirring this as you're slowly pouring it in, because you don't want it to be a lump of clay at the bottom. So you want to stir that in. And that's also why I use hot water, because I feel like it helps the clay dissolve into the water better. There we go. And all that bentonite is now in there. I'm going to stir that a little bit more. Alright, so now that that's done, the next step is going to be for us to pour in our concentrate. Alright, so now we're going to be pouring in our concentrate. The bag of concentrate that comes with the Vino Italiano kits is a lot smaller, like we discussed before, than the other more premium kits. Meaning, if it's a lot smaller, then it must be more concentrated. Being more concentrated makes it lighter to ship. You can handle more of it, but the quality is less than the ones that are less concentrated or not concentrated at all. Nonetheless, what we're going to be doing is making this one to 5 gallons. And I don't know if you can see that. Here's my box. What I've done is I've ripped a hole in the corner of the box, and I'm going to be snapping the lid off. And with the tool, it's hard to do this with one hand. I'll be right back. Let me just get that situated. Oh. Alright, so I've gotten the lid off, and now I'm going to be pouring this in Again, trying to not spill it all over the place as I'm doing that. Now you can see this is a very thick, very, very thick concentrate. So I'm going to be trying to get as much of it out as I can. Pouring that in without splashing it all over the place. Okay. So that's what we got so far. And as you see, the bag is not empty. There's still some in there in the bag. So what we're going to be doing is using the same bag and filling it up with water at the sink. My bucket my bag pretty full here. Now, I use tap water, but I have to tell you, my house has 2 water filters on it, because I'm pretty big on having clean water. So if you don't have good water, you can always use spring water. That'll work just fine, but you want to make sure the quality of the ingredients going into your wine will make a big difference on the final outcome. If you don't have good water, definitely use spring water or some kind of filtered water in your winemaking. And right there, we're up to about 4 gallons. So I'm going to need at least another gallon of water. Let's see what we got now. Just a little bit more will be at 5 gallons. You see how clear that bag is now? By using the bag, we've got all of the concentrate out of the bag when we are using that for water. Now, next step, you need to really stir this very well, because if you remember, that concentrate was very thick, a lot thicker than the water. So you want to make sure you stir this really, really, really well to make sure that it's all evenly distributed, and what do they call that, reconstituted, this grape juice. Alright, I'll be right back. Alright, so the very next thing we have here is I wanted to show you my hydrometer. It's in the wine, and we're going to aim for that 1.1 on the hydrometer, which is basically close to what we have. Now, if you were to put more water in here, you wouldn't get 1.1. So what I'm aiming for here is like a 14%, 14.5% wine. So that's what I got. You know, 1.1 basically. And .1. Alright, 1.1. So the next step we're going to do is we are going to put in the yeast, and we're going to put in the sawdust. Alright, so I'm going to take that out, remove that and put it in my sink. I'm going to take my spoon out. Remove that and put it in my sink. Okay, and we're going to be putting in our yeast. This is wine yeast. You cannot use bread yeast. You can, but you're not going to get a good result. Alright, and we're going to be sprinkling that yeast onto the wine. There's no need to stir that. As a matter of fact, it's better not to stir it. Okay, so that the fermentation kicks off quicker. That's all you need. This is a very good yeast. This will ferment out wines very, very well. We're also going to be taking our thing of sawdust. Now again, if you don't want to use the sawdust, if you don't want to use the oak, you don't have to. This did not come with the kit. You can get it at a homebrew. You can get it online. I'll put a link below where you could get some oak. This will all come out of the wine. You don't have to worry about there being oak in your wine when you're drinking it. But what this will do is simulate the flavor of it being in an oak barrel. And the next step would be to take our top that we've also cleaned and sanitized. When you clean and sanitize it, make sure you get into the edges of the top of the lid. Make sure that no bacteria can get in. And I'm going to snap that on. And I'm going to take a airlock. Add water to my airlock. Put that in. And there we have it. That's the first step in our making wine with the Vino Italiano Barolo. Again, I'm excited to do this. I'm doing this kit and the Winexpert Eclipse Barolo at the same time, side by side. And it's going to be interesting to see how they both turn out. And thanks for watching. You know, just definitely check back. And you know, we'll have fun making wine together. Very cool. It's my airlock on that. What's that? That's my chocolate raspberry port that I've made on the other video. If you're into that, check that out. It's another great video I have. And the next one we're going to be making is the Winexpert. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my video channel here on YouTube. And check out my blog at www.cooking-italian-recipes.com for great Italian recipes, tips on organic gardening, winemaking and herbalism and all other kind of fun stuff that I'm into. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, tell your friends. Take care.